All right, yummy, yummy spaghetti. So we're taking our pencils to do the sketch. I am taking a piece of paper. Yeah. And all right, let's do the plate. Here, my plate turned out a bit like, looking too thin metallic. Yeah, so maybe we can also kind of take a look. Maybe you want a deeper ball. Yeah, maybe you want. So we start with the plate. And you can choose if you maybe want it a bit more like more deeper maybe, or like you can remember which plate you are usually eating spaghetti. Yeah. Yeah, somewhere kind of middle of the page. Yeah, and of course I don't draw the back part of the plate, just the front, and then the thickness also, the thickness kind of this border. Yeah, that we usually always leave like lighter, we leave it white and the plate. All right, now the fun part of drawing spaghetti. So actually like lots of curvy lines. Yeah, so for example, we can start with some long spaghetti. Yeah, just like I do one curvy line and then more or less I repeat it. And then somewhere I do maybe like half circle and then I repeat it. And I play like this around all my plate. Yeah, a little bit here, a little bit there. Somewhere maybe I can do like few lines in a row. You know, maybe they kind of get curvy. And once I have, let's say, like some lines, we can go and sit some tomatoes. So here, for example, I have one here at the corner. So then I draw here. So this will be my first tomato. Yeah. So before I finish all the spaghetti, so I did kind of few ones. And now I say, okay, I'll place till I have space. I will do, it's like slices, tomato slices, yeah? And place where like, doesn't have to be the same position as I have, because you did already some other curvy lines, yeah? And doesn't have to be like the whole slice, yeah? It's probably actually like just a half of slice looking out. And then I do also one on top. Yeah, so I give you time, take your time to place your tomato slices. Yeah, and after you have them, then you kind of can continue putting more curvy lines of pasta. And putting curvy lines is really fun because they can be like any direction. Yeah, like a bigger curvy line, a smaller curvy line. Yeah, so kind of. Yeah, and then I found one very funny, like to do with some spaghetti, they're always escaping, aren't they? So here is one spaghetti kind of escaping on the table. Yeah. Oh, so I did it kind of outside. Yes, I did one along outside and maybe also next to it. Yeah, because we know they usually come in pairs. Now, when I was painting it, I got such an desire to eat the real ones. Spaghetti. Everyone loves spaghetti. Oh. Tell me, Juliet, is it something?
Everywhere. But mine looks like this.
Oh, I love the chalk.
Water everywhere.
Huge. Very nice. Very nice. Good job. Yeah, so then, wow, your one looks ready. I'm here trying not to rush to wait, but I forget your girl's experience. So you decide, Juliet, if you have space and if you want, let's do here tomato. Yeah, it's kind of for a little bit for composition. Yeah, so I can put here tomato, and then we also do these basilico leaves. Yeah, so then we do, we forgot the fork. Oh my God, I forgot the most, not the most important, but yes, I have here the fork. And my idea was also, it's kind of, the fork is, yes, tucked there. So it's usually we can put the fork and it's sitting there. So just there in between, you place, so it's kind of, you can hardly see, so you don't really worry about those lines. Yeah, so I kind of just place there something. Yeah. Is it all good? Can you hear me well?
Sorry, we're just dealing with this water issue. Give us 1 second.
Okay, we can take a little break. That's no worries. Yeah. Yeah. All right. It was the fork that I forgot. So I kind of stick it there in the between the pasta and then just go outside the handle. And I do also like a little thickness for the handle. Yeah, so fork pretty much easy. And if needed, I can put a bit more pasta around on the fork, let's say. Yeah, so the fork looks a bit more kind of inside. And then of course, these green leaves on top of basilic, they make a very nice touch. Because everything is red. Tomatoes are red, and then oh, and the stripes on the table. So it's also a very nice way to show the surface. So actually, so I haven't painted table here. I did just those stripes that are famous for being these kind of classical Italian tables. Yes, when you go to Italian restaurant, they usually all have this white cloth with red stripes. So we can actually just do the stripes. Yeah, instead of our classical way when we draw a horizontal line that we show the table. Today we can experiment with those stripes. Yeah. The only important thing about the stripes to remember is that the ones that are closer to us are bigger, and the ones that are more far away, they are more thin. Yeah, so then it looks nicer, but generally, yeah. And of course, you might have like less lines. Maybe you have just 2 or 3. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, so kind of. And a little bit the shadow. Yeah, so the shadow I can also plan. Not big, so this time we don't put lots of attention on shadow. We just do it kind of, because generally there is always a shadow. So here I put a little bit under the plate. I put a little bit under the tomato. Then I do also kind of fork shadow. Yeah, and actually I should have done also under this pasta, the pasta that is falling out. We also should do a bit, but it's better also we do it just with paint. So like more or less, it's actually like very loose, the sketch, because well, the story is when I did this pasta painting, when I already went with the colors, there are actually two options that we will face. So either you decide your pasta is going with the red sauce or it's going plain, yeah, no sauce. Because first I did it and it was more like pasta. But then I decided, okay, I will try to show that actually there is the red tomato sauce inside. So I started doing more red. Yeah? So in the process, we will see. First we put all one color and then we start forming our pasta shape. And then maybe you decide, you say, I leave it like this. I do the red tomatoes and no sauce. Yeah, because sauce might be tricky. You might kind of ruin. Yeah. So we will see, but in the process you will. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thumbs up when you're ready. What about Ellie?
She stopped painting.
Okay. Okay. She's went away. Then we continue with you, Juliet. So I suggest we start with we take like gray and we do just quickly a plate and the fork. Yeah, so let's say, but it's also like my aim was to show the plate is white. So then I actually kind of, yeah, so why? Because it's actually the lightest color. Yeah, so I just take some very light black or Payne's gray and just very, very lightly, I kind of color my fork. Yeah, and I color my plate. Maybe I can, like with the plate, I leave the border, white. Yeah, but I color just the base. If you decide your plate is going to be other color, then you can actually, afterwards you can correct, because gray is pretty much light color, and yeah, we can. Okay, so I have covered some. So, yeah. And then, for example, if you feel your, like, it's already more or less dry, you can put straight away, let's say, this border line that is a bit darker, yeah? But if it's still wet, then don't rush. You can do it also in, so I do here, maybe, the shadow I will work actually more like later on the plate, but like at the start can do a bit. Yeah? It's also why, for example, I do the right side of the plate, I do darker and not the left side. It's because, let's say from the start, we decided the shadows are going this way. So it means the light is coming from this side. So this part of the plate will be lighter and this part of the plate will be darker. Yeah, so. And yeah, so I leave it rest. I will go and improve it later on my drawing. So now the color of pasta. No rush. I give you time, Juliet. If you need more.
I think I just have to do a bit of shading on the fork, and then I think I'll be ready to move on.
Good. Yeah. So again, yeah, so I just put like one light gray on the whole fork. And yeah, when I put the border of the fork, the only important thing is that it's dry. Yeah, because if it's still wet, then I'll be putting the border and it all will start like floating. Yeah, and it's not what I want. Yeah, but generally also I try to do not very dark before, because it's not like this border, maybe it's already a bit too dark. Yeah, I lighter it a bit, and I can lighter it easily just with the clean brush. With the water, I go and I can lighten it up, because the fork is not the main object. It's more like, the accessory. So thumbs up for the pasta. Yay. So I choose this color. The name is yellow ochre. And
out of my watercolor set, I don't have yellow ochre. So do I just mix yellow and brown together?
Yes, that could be a good option. Yes, but in general, we will need like very dark. So let's say you take some yellow, a tiny bit of brown. Yeah, so then it's still kind of more yellow than brownish. And then anyway, we'll be adding more water. So let's say I've put, this mix on my palette, and I keep on adding the water, so I kind of dilute it. So then later when I put it on my paper, it's not dark. So the first layer, we're always looking forward to do the very light, because then we can have those light areas, and you know that making dark is easy.
I might have to go and get some more yellow because it's sort of greenish in my palettes.
All right, I wait for you. No worries. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, yellow ochre. I find it like really perfect. You almost don't have to do nothing with it. Just control lighter or darker. Yeah, so just more water or less water. And then we start. So I have it here very diluted, and I just go all around. So maybe like the tomatoes, if you already have some tomatoes around, maybe you can go around tomatoes. But even if you touch the tomatoes, it's not really end of the world, because we know this color we are putting is very light. Yeah. So, and now I will show you one very interesting technique. Maybe you already know it. Yeah. So let's say we have put this very light ochre as our base color. But now I can actually make some lines like even lighter. Yeah, it's kind of taking paint out. And for this, I need, then I need the clean brush, and I need the paper towel. So with a clean brush that has no paint on it, it can be a bit wet. Take a look, Juliet. What I do, I kind of go in some areas and take off the paint. So I will try to show you a bit closer. So actually, so everything here I have is covered with this ochre, and now I'm taking some lines out, so they're becoming white. So I'm kind of cleaning out some areas, and they'll be even lighter than this our base layer. Yeah, so it's kind of painting with the water. Yeah, let's say like a bit reverse. But the only secret is that your brush always has to be clean. So kind of I come back to my water each time I have cleaned. Yeah, because otherwise the paint, of course, stays there, and then it will not be cleaning anymore. Yeah, the paint, if I, yeah, so some few lines, some like let's say some worms we can take off and clean. Yeah, so this is a good one. I use it often, let's say, especially when you do, let's say I need to cover a huge part of landscape and there are some little houses. So I just cover everything, let's say blue, and then just taking out those little areas that I need with the clean watery brush. Yeah, and here you go. But of course, like you should do it like straight away. Yeah, you've put the paint and then you start cleaning. Yeah, before it's all too dry.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, let me see. Aha, okay. Good. Yeah, so have you tried to do this cleaning? Have you tried to?
Yeah, some of the pasta went out of it, so I cleaned a bit of that.
Okay, yeah. So a paper towel helps me always a lot. Kind of I take off and I wipe my brush. I take off and I wipe my brush. Yeah. Yeah. Ellie, are you joining back? Come on, we're not far away. Join back. So all what we did gray color for the fork and the plate. And then we just put the base layer of yellow ochre. Yeah, or Ellie is not interested in coming back. All right. Ellie is not in the mood today. It happens. I'm also not always in the mood. So
wait, I don't know where Ellie's painting actually went. Like a sketch. Sketch. I don't know.
oh, disappeared.
Yeah, I think she's just a miss. So I think we need to resketch it.
Okay, we can do it. No worries. Come on, I'm gonna yeah, Ellie, come back. Let's resketch it. It's gonna be quick. You already did it once.
She just has to get paper.
Yeah. Yes. No problem at all. So for you, Juliet, the next thing, so before I start darkening my pasta, I would go to do the red spots for tomatoes. And then I will start darkening the lines, like, or very darker, like brown, like putting shadows in between. Yeah, but for this moment, we go together later. So you can either just wait till all your drawing is dry, because, you know, it's also like, yeah. All right, Ellie. So what we've been starting with? We started with the plate in the middle. Yeah, Julia did one very nice big one. So lots of pasta can fit in. So what about the plate? The plate, yeah, kind of curvy line, one up, one down, and then we show this thickness, yeah, the border of the plate. And yeah, and then we were doing just few curvy lines, one curvy line there, or a curvy line there, which is kind of having fun, playing around, you know, how pasta is. And then we've put some tomato slices. That's also easy. You can put like a whole slice, or you can draw just a half of it. Yeah, the halves are looking good, so then it looks more naturally as if they are inside the pasta. Yeah, that's how actually they always are. And then depending how much space you have on your paper, you can put this tomato at the border. Yeah, how's going, Ellie? Yeah, I see you. Are you sketching? Yeah. Good, good. Yeah, take your time, Ellie. No rush. We have time. Yeah, so. Yes. So I'm gonna leave here the sketch, and you let me know if you're ready, or if you have any doubts, yeah, about the sketch. So there is the fork. Yeah, fork also kind of easy, just the straight line, and then the darker line for the border. Yeah. And then of course I did this funny spaghetti out of the plate. Yeah. Yeah, all right, take your time, Ellie, sketch. I will be right here with you. All righty, Ellie, yeah. Juliet, like, take a look at your drawing. If you find maybe the pasta is too dark, yeah, you can maybe like, with this technique, maybe clean a little bit with the water, yeah, because remember, first layer we put also always very light. You see, kind of my layer is very, very transparent. And then slowly we start darkening. Yeah, because if we go straight away very dark, then we have no room to grow. We don't have room to put more darker areas. Yeah. Yeah, so I keep here both drawing, the sketch. Yeah, so actually watercolor, you can take off. You just make it a bit more water, and even with the paper towel, yeah, you can just do some touch-ups, so it takes off the paint and kind of works. Yeah, so Ellie, once you're done with sketch, what was it? It was the gray first. Yeah, so very light colors. You just take a black, you take like a little dot of black, lots of water, and then you just go kind of all over the fork. Yeah, but again, very light. Don't, because the fork and the plate are not the main heroes. We don't want them to be like very, very dark. Yeah, so we want people to look at our pasta. Very nice, Judith. You help your sister. Yes, of course. Yeah, so light gray, light yellow ochre, and that's it. And then we continue all together. Yeah, so I will go slowly choose the red, which red I want for my tomatoes. And do you remember the way we paint, let's say, tomatoes? We always need, it can be just one red, it can be the same color. But first, we need to put it lighter, then we let it dry, and then we put a second layer of the same red but a bit darker. Yeah. So in the second layer, then yeah, ask me.
I think I finished the pasta bowl.
Awesome.
You have to paint on, now you have to paint on, use yellow ochre, is in there, and then use it to paint the pasta. Make sure it's light though. You don't have to put the yellow ochre in a palette.
Cool, cool, Ellie. Yeah, you're already almost there. So just all over the pasta, no worry. So it's so light, I can still see my pencil. And yeah, it's like our usual base layer of light. And then we will be using the same ochre, but already darker to do those in-between lines that will create a feeling of pasta. Yeah. Yeah, so this one kind of very quick, just with really watery brush, you go all around. Yeah, so even if you touch the tomatoes, it's not a big deal because the paint is light. Yeah, but if you can go around tomatoes, that's also good. And yeah. Yeah, okay, then I remove the sketch. We already don't need it. All right, yeah. Thumbs up to continue with tomatoes. Although, of course, like to continue, like, especially for Ellie, because Juliet, you already had some time, so it's dry. But yeah, if you have just put all these ochre, yeah, let's give it 1 minute, because otherwise when we put tomatoes, it's all gonna start floating. Yeah, we remember it's watercolors. And acrylics, it's not like this, but watercolors, and then, you know, you don't wanna it all flow right into a pasta, although it can make like maybe look natural, like the sauce. Yeah. All right, yeah, I will go a bit further, so then also Juliet can yeah. So look, I have just the same red. I just took one red that I have, and all I did, one I've diluted with more water, and I'm placing very light red, and again just all over my tomato slice. Yeah, so it's kind of always the same story. First, we put very light base layer, we let it dry, and then on top, we put the details we need with the darker color. So let's say here I have those the same 4 slices. And then of course also this tomato at the corner. Yes, and always let it dry before coming back, yeah, with the darker, yeah, because otherwise it's going to be floating.
Ellie, I think I finished the pasta and the bowl.
Pasta in the bowl, perfect. Yeah, you're right where we are. So what I did is just the next step exactly after yours. I took red, but again, very lightly with lots of water. I have just did the base layer of red, yeah, and then we will leave it dry. And yeah, here I already did a bit maybe darker, trying, yeah, to, and yeah, so you put this light layer, and then you wait till it's dry, and then you can, let's say, put those red tomato details, like the line at the bottom will be like the skin. Yeah, so here is a good example. I didn't wait it for it to be dry, and it's floating, but sometimes it's not bad. Sometimes it kind of gives a nice, and again, for example, the tomato that is at the bottom. So I did it whole with the light red, but now I'm putting darker red just on one side. And again, why I put it darker on the right side and not on the left side? Yeah, because sometimes it can be also the opposite. It's exactly because on my original painting, I've chosen the main shadow goes to the left, sorry, to the right, to this side, yeah? So it means all shadows of all the objects will be going that way. And yeah, so doing tomatoes is easy. We did one layer, and then just with the darker, you do the skin, and you do those touch-ups, and after that, yeah, no rush, I'm giving you time. After that, we will do already the pasta, and then the magic will appear. Yeah, then the pasta will appear. But the principle, again, the same. Yeah, so how we did, we put light yellow ochre. Then we use this new technique, yeah, of cleaning up a bit. So here I actually have already two levels, light ochre and cleaned white lines that almost like I got back to the white paper. And now I just go, let's say, with a bit darker color. So it can be either, it can be sienna, yeah, because sienna is something in between ochre and brown. Yeah, so we usually go yellow, ochre, sienna, and then brown. Yeah. So again, to have like several levels, we can start with the sienna, do some lines, and then in the end, we do also more darker. Yeah. And what is also important here, when we already go for the detailing part, then our brush is not really wet, it's more dry. And I use a paper towel often for it. So I kind of fill my brush, but then take a look, Juliet, I kind of wipe it a bit, very like gentle. So it still has the paint, but it takes off like humidity. So when I go with my brush, it's not floating so much. So because sometimes I want to do the details, but if my brush is too wet, it all starts floating, and then it's very hard to work. So what I do, I just, again, take one color and go a bit around. Doesn't have to be like all the lines, and some lines I do, like some lines I just maybe like repeat, and like repeat the ones I already have. Some areas maybe I just color more like a surface, not like a line, but slowly, and jumping all around. Yeah, because then later we're gonna have, let's say, the third type of color, and yeah, that will also go around. So Yeah, and here I can do also this pasta that is on the table, for example. Yeah, so you understand now the idea. What we need the stripes. And the way you do it, you slowly work your way up for the darkness. Yeah, and you take care of light areas. So yes, some parts should stay light. Yeah, not try to be careful and kind of protect the lines that are very light, because then and for example, the most dark part will be actually at the border with the plate. So like the more pasta is up in the air, the lighter it looks there. Yeah, and yeah, so you see here I have already, let's say, 3 layers of color. I have the ochre, then I had it clean, so I have white, and now I have already some sienna. And now I need some brown. So then I can go, and maybe actually my brown can be mixed with some red. So then it's not like really brown dark, but more exactly like pasta. Yeah, so, but I can't put really only red because red is still kind of light. Yeah, I really need the shadow. So then it works. So here I mixed my brown with red. Yes, and what I do, then I go playing again around. Yeah, and I don't forget, here I forgot to wipe my brush and I went inside, it was too wet, and then it started floating. Yeah, and I really didn't want it to flow. I want it. Yeah, and here we need patience. So we don't rush, we don't color everything very quickly. We take our time, we put one line here, one line there. Yeah.
Are we gonna do the dark part of the pasta now?
Okay. So the pasta part is ready. Then you can do the, let's do the green area. Yeah, so the greens will at once also bring like very cool freshness to our painting. So I choose some very nice green. Yes, you see, it's also in the food where you can apply combination of opposite colors. Yeah, so you remember red and green are the opposite ones. And you see how very nicely they combine, and I don't forget about, if you have the tomato at the bottom, then it also has this head. Yeah, and then I do also the leaves here. Yeah, and what would be left? Would be left a bit shadow. So you already experienced, girls, you know that all objects that are on the table, they will all have shadow. Yeah, so if we forget to show it, then it looks a bit like something is missing, something is not too realistic. Yeah, so then I suggest we always we take some bluish or some purplish. Yeah, so don't take black for the shadow, because it will only make all your painting kind of dirty, yeah, and muddy. So and then again, when I do my shadow, yeah, my brush, especially for this line under the plate, yeah, so shadow usually goes like this, that under the plate the line is very thin, and then it's slowly becoming bigger and bigger when the line go already behind, yeah. And then again, under the tomato, very thin line under the tomato, and the shadow circle behind. Yeah? So, and then we can already take a look and do corrections. For example, maybe a plate needs a little bit more shadow on the side, yeah? But this one you already see and decide yourself, depending, yeah, how your plate is looking at the moment. And the last thing, it was also my suggestion that today, as an experiment, we try painting a table without our classical horizontal line as we do, but we actually do those stripes that remind of a tablecloth. Yeah, so actually without drawing a table, just with those lines, I still create the feeling, yeah, we're talking about the table. Yeah, the only rule about those lines, those red crossed lines on the table, is that the ones that are closer to us are bigger, and the ones that are far away from us are smaller. So please don't make the ones that are far away too thick, because then it will look maybe a bit too, yeah, so maybe even let's start it, if you have them made with your pencil, then it's good sometimes to start with a thin line, because then you kind of know how thin you can go. Yeah, but if you don't have them with the pencil, then just go first with those big ones in front of you, and then just slowly progress to the back of the painting, trying to make the line thinner. Yeah. And what I was also talking about, so about making pasta feeling as it's with the sauce or it's plain just with tomatoes, yeah? So then it depends. If you like how your pasta looks like, maybe you leave it this way, because to make it with the sauce, of course, you go around with more red, yeah, and doing converting the stripes of being more red. But can be dangerous. Yeah, when I did, I actually struggled and I thought, oh no, my pasta is ruined. So it's also your choice as an artist. Yeah, I suggest you some things, but you are the one who decides, okay, what's coming on my painting, what's coming not on my painting. And if you did all your painting too dark, maybe it's still not too late and you can use this technique of cleaning out. But if you clean out, remember, always, like after each touch, you clean your brush in water or you wipe it with a paper towel. So. Yeah, can take a look at your fork. Maybe you want some spaghetti around your fork a bit more. Yeah, why not? And don't worry if it doesn't look like, sometimes some drawings can take you to repeat 2-3 times before it works. Yeah, so like it's your first go. Like I had maybe at least 3 papers in the garbage bin, you know, before my final drawing. So sometimes people say, oh, I try, but it doesn't work. But they don't realize that actually, like artists, they try just 10 times and then it works. But of course, with the first time, it's usually everyone's not.
Final looks like.
Let's see. Wow. Okay.
It up.
Yeah, I think we did the mistake a little bit doing the pasta too dark at the start. Yeah. So this could be like something that we can learn today. Yeah. So I really love the tomato at the bottom and the stripes. It all looks good. So let's say if you go doing this painting once again, you do everything correct. Just the first layer of pasta, you do a bit more water. Yeah, so you take the same, let's say, ochre, but very, very diluted with yeah, but generally cool. I really like that you usually take a big size of plate. I don't see it often. I see that many children, they paint very tiny. So I was very positively surprised. You took like, okay, my plate is, you know, here it takes all the space of paper. That's
why I always try to make things bigger than what they'll seem, because if I do it too small, then everything will turn out miniaturized.
You see, this is talking an experienced artist. You've experimented, you had your mistakes, and you know, without mistakes, we wouldn't find out. Yeah. So good one. Ellie, tell me about your plate. Which part you find cool? Which part you find, next time I will work on it differently?
Well, I think I'm probably gonna try just to do it like one way, because it sort of turned out like there's this one part and then it just got darker but then lighter, and there's like watermark that dried the way it was. So
yeah. Do you mind showing me quickly? I'm of course very interested. Thank you, Ellie. Yeah. Oh, I find it awesome. I love your fork. Yeah, the stripes are also very artistic, and the pasta that is hanging from the plate. And look how nicely you did the shadow, the like plate turning from very light to the darker. It's like looks very professional. Yeah. And also I like you left the pasta original. Yeah, so you didn't went with the sauce like I did, and it's amazing. Bravo, Ellie, yeah? It's very good that you've, like, even your paper was ruined in the start. You still said, okay, but I'm still gonna continue. And you took a second paper and you started again your sketch. That's very important. Yeah, if we all artists, we would stop at the first and yeah, the paper didn't work, then yeah, no masterpieces would come out. So girls, you did, both of you, amazing job today. Yeah, a bit higher, a bit higher.
This is the one from last week, and I decided to keep it. It's now a mushroom for the little garden.
This one was awesome, yay. Yay. Shall we discuss the ideas for the next time?
Okay.
Or you want me to choose? Tell me. I mean, I'm always happy when you suggest something. Yeah, so
I have an idea. We could paint a sunset over a bay and maybe a boat. A sunset over a bay? Did you get that from Wildwood? Yeah. I saw it was super cool and like a clear light pink sky, and I think it would be best to do it with watercolors.
I hear some very good suggestions. Okay, I'm noting down pink sky of sunset and bay with a boat. Perfect. Sounds a good plan to me. And we do it watercolor way. Yeah, so then it's also it's different. Yeah, imagine with acrylics, we do the blending one way, but then watercolors, yeah, different technique. So very cool. Yeah, will be a great way to experiment. Yeah, so I'm taking also my tape off. So is your pasta favorite dish, or what's your favorite dish, girls?
It's actually really hard. I like a lot of foods. I always think, oh, I have this one food, but then I remember a bunch of other foods when I get them. And then I'm like, well, I can't choose. I just remembered one, and I'm going to say it before I change my mind. Curry with rice, it's so good. It has onions in it, and then like the sauce around it is so good.
Okay, getting hungry with all your tasty suggestions. Yes, curry with rice is awesome. This is cool, girls. Yeah, with watercolors sometimes what I also do, I wait till it's dry, like let's say I go take a rest, I come back, it's completely dry, and sometimes I even do some dry brush touch-ups, because we all know that watercolors, they continue drying and then they look more faded out. So then it's kind of always the room a bit to do some maybe extra lines, you know, like accent lines. They're just more like liner type or something, yeah? So just like a suggestion. Yay. What would be your suggestion to paint maybe like after the time, Juliet?
After the sunset, I think I also want to do this thing. I think I also want to do the part with the bay, but also I'm wondering about where we're standing. Like, are we standing in the bay or are we standing on a deck to watch? We're standing on a deck. Ellie said deck. I watched it through a screen door. It was so pretty. A screen door? But then Mama's phone couldn't catch the paint.
But that's a very cool idea to think about, where is our point of view? Maybe are we on the other boat? Or are we standing on the pier? Or are we flying on a helicopter and we're looking up?
That would be really cool if we were on a helicopter. My feet are actually tingling thinking about that.
Maybe. it's like yeah, it's from up, and then you see the boats more like points and the clouds or something. Yeah, I will experiment. I will see which one works better. So maybe we avoid doing this classical sunset look when we have, you know, the horizontal, the sun and the boats, but maybe we experiment exactly with the different point of view, maybe from under the water, how it would look if
That
we
would be cool. Wait, but how the sunset would you be like floating in the water?
yeah, okay,
That would be a lot of water. There would be a lot of water on the painting.
But it would be only the water, because imagine you are under the water, so you have to show. Okay, that would be complicated, but let me experiment. Maybe, yeah. Let's see what's doable.
My pasta and my bowl are sparkly because I don't know if it's because of the silver background I did last time or not. Hey, I remember. We have a sort of similar picture, like the bay part that reminded me. I was supposed to add a boat, but I forgot. The one with the rocks in the garden and the house and the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
I feel like something that would also be like it. We would kind of just paint the like sort of the same painting again, only like a little bit different. The one with like the rainbow clouds and the sunset and the boat. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I'm also trying to remember which one you mean, Ellie. Color.
I don't know where it is, but like the sun was like setting.
Yeah.
And we made like a river and a boat. Nope. Like a tiny boat. You made a tiny boat. Yeah, you made a big boat, right? I remember it was the one with the sunset. I might be able to find it.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. I will search also my notes. Let's see what I find. All right, I'm gonna stop it here, but we can still talk.